Hey guys, what's up? Ivo Remo McLean for live once again. And I'm back for another video. And I wanna welcome everyone to my retrospective and movie review of one of my favorite sports comedies from the 90s. And that's of course White Man Can Jump from 1992, was released on March 27 and was already 30th anniversary. Now, if you are wondering why I have in my hand, it's actually a German release on Blu-ray. And you can see it's also the back. It's almost the same cover that the US has, or the England or the UK, but it's titled White Man Can Jump. That's in German title. Now, the reason why I got this Blu-ray was because it was the cheapest I got from eBay for Wesley Snipes collection. And I'm glad, that I do have the same cover as this one. But when I try to get, I can buy the one from the US because it has Region A. I have a Region B player because I'm out of the US, so that's one of the reasons. Two, the movie when I tried to purchase from the UK, from England, it was way too much expensive. I'm not paying $35 for a movie. Yeah, they wanted $35 with the shipment, with the shipment for the film, and I did not want to pay that kind of money for a film. So also I found a steelbook from the UK, and it's $50. I'm not paying $50 or $35 for a film. So this was the only one that I got cheapest for $18 from eBay from Germany, and I'm glad I do have. Now this is 2018 release, but there's no special features in it. Only its place filmed. It doesn't have the extended cut, just like the US and England, they have two cuts. The extended and theatrical, it has a theatrical cut in it, and the movie plays, and that's it. There's no menu in it. You only have two languages and two subtitles, and that's it. The picture quality is excellent. It's really beautiful. I have never seen this movie before on Blu-ray, but it's really beautiful. The the audio is so loud that even my eardrums are hurting me, especially when Gloria yells on Billy for gambling her money. And yeah, there's no special features, but the picture quality is really beautiful. It's really excellent. The audio quality 5.1 is also excellent. You also have Germany stereo, which is German audio and English audio. But yeah, actually it has a back. It's everything is the one that you can see on the UK or on US, but it's right in German. It's completely different right in German than it's actually in English. And yeah, this is actually Wesley Snipes. That's Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. And this movie was a hit. Now, White Man Can Jump is one of my favorite sports comedies. It's one of the greatest 90s sports comedies out there. Yes, I said it, the greatest one's a classic. This movie is a classic. It's a phenomenal. It's a classic film. And Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, they did work well together. Written and directed by Ron Shelton. This is actually his third movie that he actually directed. Yeah, this was actually his third movie that he directed. The first one was the one with Kevin Costner. I think it was Bull Durham. I think so, from 95. Then he did Blaze. I think it was titled Blaze with Paul Newman and Lolita Davidovich. And then he did this movie. And everything that you see in this movie was actually, it's not just sports fun comedy. It's actually realistic. Everything is done for real. It's all about basketball. This movie is about basketball and hustlers. But I'll get more later in the story. Ron Shelton, he did a great, fantastic job writing the story. He wrote 37 pages in one night until it became on hold because he had to figure out what the Gloria thing was. that it wasn't, that it actually wasn't um, um, unconnected, that it wasn't unconnected from the guys. That's a big for him to make sure that the women aren't defined in terms of the guy business. So that's one of the reasons was in a halt. And Ron Shelton wanted to do this movie, and he had a passion for it. And this movie was just awesome. So it's just phenomenal. I love this movie to death. This is one of my favorite Wesley Snipes movies. That would be number 6. The first 5 are actually Blade, Blade 2, Demolition Man, right there, U.S. Marshals, and Murder at 1600. Because when I saw this movie 2 weeks ago, I rewatched it, I enjoyed it. This will be number 6. Because White Man Can Jump is fantastic. Now, Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, they actually worked on 4 movies together. This is their second collaboration, but they were actually stars only 2 movies, and that was White Man Can Jump, and that was Money Train. The first one, they actually were in Wildcats. I don't know if they shared screen time because I haven't seen that movie in 2 years. And I forgot about it. I only remember Goldie Hawn being in the main role, that's it. But this is actually their first movie together, and they work well together. Then they did Money Train, and they also did in 1999, they did Play to the Bone, which Woody Harrelson starred with Antonio Banderas in the main role, but Wesley Snipes had a cameo scene in the film, But of the 4, White Man Can Jump and Money Train, they actually collaborated, and they were the main stars. Now the 2, I'll say this will be my favorite of the 2. I prefer this movie over Money Train. I thought this movie was much better. I thought this movie was pacing and understand the characters, what about. Now, both the men, Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, they both played characters that I hate. Wesley Snipes played Nino Brown. I hated him in New Jack City. I'm glad that he was dead. I hated him. I don't have that movie in my collection. I don't need it at all. I used to get it, but I think I threw it away accidentally. And the other, and Woody Harrelson, he starred in Natural Born Killers, and that was 2 years later after this movie. And Natural Born Killers sucked. I hate this movie. People call it masterpiece. I'm not calling those kind of type masterpiece when Mickey Knox manipulates this young bitch, and they go and they start killing innocent people just for fun, and they get imprisoned, and then they escape, and then they live happily after everything they did. No, I don't like those kind of characters. I hate those kind of type movies. That's the reason, because there was too many copycats of that film. That's why I hated it. But I thought that Billy Hall is actually his best character. And my favorite Woody Harrelson movie is White Man Can Jump. Yes, this is my favorite movie he did. My favorite movie Woody Harrelson he actually did. And like I said, written and directed by Ron Shelton, which he did a fantastic job directed. And I love the movie. I love this movie to death. And the reason why I love this movie, because it's not violent. There's no violence in the film. It's only about basketball. And it's not about who's the best basketball player. It's not about NBA. The NBA has nothing to do with this movie. This is actually street basketball in LA. And City Dean, he's a basketball king on this court. He's the basketball king on this court. Street basketball on LA. He's actually king of street basketball. That's actually right in the German, you know, he's king of basketball. And this movie is all about basketball, but it's about hustling, and it's about money. It's about a lot of money. And that's how the movie begins, you know, and like I said, I just love this movie to death. Billy Hoyle, he moves from he actually moves to California. I don't know what city he was. Minnesota. I don't know what city he was, because I haven't seen this movie over 2 years, but I watched it in Friday and did not memorize everything. I'm not perfect, but he moves to California with his girlfriend Gloria Clemente, played by Rosie Perez. And now I remember, this movie was on TV many times, and I remember that I taped this film. The reason why I taped this film was because I loved Rosie Perez. She was my first crush. I had a huge crush on her, and I think that she stated that she had fun making this movie. And Rosie Perez, she was later in Perdita Durango, but she nailed the perfect as Gloria Clemente, the girlfriend of Billy Hall. She perfectly nailed the character. But they both moved to. They actually both moved to California. But in the backgrounds, both the couple, they owned the Stuckey Brothers $8,000. Billy Hall used to play it. He actually used to play it in college. He went and played basketball in college. And he's supposed to, there was this game that was fixed, and I think that he's supposed to win, but instead he threw the game, and those two brothers lost $8,000, and now Billy Hall owns them. So he goes to the basketball in the court, and in the open stadium we see these three guys who are singing. There's such a beautiful music, and this is not a Rocky film. This is different than Rocky film, and they have this music, this perfectly music, love this basketball court in the background. They were at the rim. I love the rim. But yeah, I love those three guys who are singing. And then we meet the players. We actually meet. Then we meet the players on the court, which is Zinedine and his friends who are hustling, and because they need another player, and Billy Hall is the right man. He's the only one of the black basketball players. He's the only one that's white. So white man can't jump. That's the title. So Billy goes against Zinedine, and he won. He wins the. He goes and he wins. He goes and he wins the game, against Sidney. Sidney, he's a king, but he goes and he wins. He goes and he wins the game, and of course there's actually a competition between Billy and Sidney, and they actually go through the rocket. We call it the rocket on the basketball court, and they both go and throw the ball. They actually went from 11 points. You have to score 11. You have to throw the ball and score in the basket 11 points. And Sidney and Billy, they went and threw the ball, but on the end Billy hustled him and he won. And yeah, Billy won. He beat Sidney. So Sidney sees opportunity to make more money, so he follows him. And now, because Gloria and Billy, they both thinks that those guys found them. They try to escape, but it's Sidney. Sidney has a proposal. They're supposed to go. He wants, to help him to win money. So they both go to hustle people to get some money. Until on the end, they actually, it turns out that Sidney hustles Billy, in which they lost the game for $100,700. Yes, $1,700 Billy lost. He gambled the money for Gloria, and when Billy goes to tell that Gloria, she figures out that Sidney went and he hustled him. So they go back, to the Sidney's apartment, And it turns out she was right. Sidney hustled, Sidney went and he hustled, Billy for the money. Oh my God, they're watching the basketball game and they're going the argument, And Gloria talks to, she goes and talks to, to Rhonda Dean, that was the wife of Sydney, because actually Rhonda, she wants to get out of this apartment of the Vista, because it's actually a dangerous neighborhood, and she wants to go out. And she says, to Gloria, she's not gonna give her the money back. And she's, why not? I'm not gonna give you the money back. And that's it. So they came to the term that Sydney and of course Billy, they will play in a tournament for $5,000. If they win, they get $10,000. And that's awesome. But actually, I forgot to mention the Sydney. There's the Sydney and Billy, where they go and they hustle this guy. This guy was so awesome. I wrote him down. Raymond, played by Marquez Johnson, for $500, and the guy is sure he has no money, so he goes with his gun and the hoodum, the hood on his head, and he goes and tries to rob this guy, in the supermarket, and says, Raymond, is that you, Oh my God, I was laughing my ass off, so the guy, can you borrow me $500? I don't can give you, but then it says, oh God, look, it's very dangerous, the gun. I'll give you 200, 250, no, 200, 257, 250, okay. He gives him $250, he gives him, and they go hustle, and of course, Cindy and Billy, they both beat them, and the guy gets pissed, he grabs that blade, that long shaving blade, and there's this girl, his girlfriend tries to calm him down. He wants to cut both the guys because they hustle him for the money. So he says, you know what? Fuck that. I actually go put in my gun and I'm gonna shoot everyone. And then everyone split and ran away from the basketball court. Oh my God. The Marquez Johnson was so funny and awesome as Raymond. Love that scene there. So now, like I said, Billy and Sidney, they go to this basketball court on a tournament, and Billy starts pissing everyone, and insulting everyone. And by the end, it worked because they both won the tournament. Both the men won the tournament, and that was awesome. So there's there's a scene in which Sidney tells him that white man can jump, white man can do a dunk, can't dunk on the basketball court. They can't dunk, and this is what actually kind of upset Billy. So Billy goes and gambles the money, $5,000 to Sydney. Yes, the check he gambled. He had three tries and he couldn't dunk. In real life, Woody Harrelson could dunk. He did dunk in the rim, but they actually low the rim. It wasn't 10 feet hop. It was 9.5 hop feet that he actually dunked. Because they lowered the cast, lowered the rim. And the cast they went and lowered the rim, and so he lost the money. Actually, that really did happen to me in my real life. I was 16 years old and I was playing, football. I wasn't. I was actually playing a soccer. Just call it a soccer. In Europe we played soccer, not football, soccer. We played soccer, and there was this kid. He was the goalkeeper. He kept insulting me. So we made a bet for a money, and the first time it was a tie. But when I actually more wanted, to win against him, I lost the money. I was so proud just like Billy, I lost the money. Thank God it's only $5. Thank God it wasn't 5,000. It was only $5. But it really did happen to me because, I couldn't defend because we both had shots, and I couldn't defend the goal. I couldn't defend the goal. So the guy beat me, and I had to pay him back. I had to pay him because I lost the money. So yes, I had to pay him. I had to ask my mom to give me the money, so I paid him because I was stupid. But this is the first. But I actually learned a lesson, and I think that Billy also did learn a lesson from that. Don't if you're not sure that you can win, don't bet on the money because you're gonna lose, because nothing's gonna come out good. And he was a gambler, and yeah, he actually was a gambler, and so he lost the money. He actually went and he lost the money. And I also forgot to mention the Stokey brothers found them. They had to escape, to move. So when Gloria, she was waiting at him, and she goes and kicks the pizza out. She says pizza is cold. And that's actually the scene that she was so sexy. That's one of the reasons I taped. Rosie Perez was the reason I taped. I love her character Gloria much better than Perdita Durango. I thought she was better in this movie, and I was a huge fan of her. And yes, she was in that movie. What was that movie titled already? It Could Happen to You with Nicolas Cage. She was in that movie either. But I thought this was better. In this movie, she was better. But yeah, so because Billy only kept his trophy that he won the tournament, I think he changed the trophy for the money so he could buy her a dress, and then he tell her that he lost that he gambled all their money, $5,000. Gloria goes and she leaves him. She leaves him. She leaves him. So also the Stokey brothers found Billy, and they give him a week time to get the money, or they will track him down, kill him. Then he cannot escape, so he has to pay them back. So because Gloria leaves him, he has no job, He goes to Sydney, because Sydney, his wife Rhonda wants to buy the house, and they don't have that kind of money. And he also has another job that really works hard. So Billy asks Sydney, to help to get Gloria back by that she goes to this game show that she was studying for over a year, in this game show that she can win the money. And so because Sydney has the connections, they make sure that Gloria gets the gig, that she gets cast as a host in this game talk show for the money, and she does, and she wins the money. She answers everything correctly, and she wins the money. And because she doesn't want to see Billy on the end, he has his way out by saying to her, and they're back together. They get back together. But a shitstorm happens when someone breaks into Sydney's apartment, steals their $5,000 money, steals everything. They trash their place, they steal everything, the furniture, the TV, the stereo, everything that they had. They lost everything, including their $5,000 that they were actually keeping in the home. And now because they're broke and they need the money, Sydney goes and asks, Billy, and of course Gloria gives $2,000 to Billy. That's actually the money that she won, so that he can pay something. That he goes and pay something for them, and for the clothes. He can pay for the clothes and find a job, a real job. But Sydney is looking for Billy, and Billy owns him. He helped, to get Gloria a gig. He owns him. to play in the basketball in the street game. And when Gloria finds this out, she says, if you're going to play basketball, my money with you. We are done. We are done. And he doesn't listen to her. She goes, with the skaters and with the speakers in her ears, and she doesn't listen to Billy. So Sidney and Billy, they actually go to these two hoop legends of the LA streetball, hoop legends of the LA streetball. And those were Eddie the King Farrow. Yes, Eddie the King Farrow and Doug Johnson. I actually had no idea, but Doug Johnson was played by Freeman Williams. And, I did not know, but Doug Johnson, Freeman Williams passed away this year, April 19th. Yes, almost a month I found out that he passed away to this year. I mean, rest in peace, Freeman Williams, rest in peace. He was a basketball player. And by the end, Sidney and Billy, they actually win, in which Billy, dunks the ball in the basket. He goes and dunks the ball in the basket, and that scene was just awesome. He goes and dunks, the ball in the basket. Ball, who goes and dunks in it. So that was awesome, in my opinion. But that's my favorite scene, the final showdown between two hoop legends, Eddie the King Farrow and Doug Johnson, between Sidney and Billy. And that was the best of the film, in my opinion. The music score was done by Benny Wallace, and it was awesome. Benny Wallace did a great music score, especially at the end when Billy goes and dunks the basket. That's my favorite scene. And this movie was done with heart. By the end, when Billy and Sidney, they go back, to Gloria, Gloria left. She left him. Then the Stuckey brothers found them. He paid them the money. They make sure that they killed him, and he was now free. And by the end, Billy won. He gained a friend. He gained his friend Sidney. He gained his friend, and by the end they play the basketball, and the movie ends. I still remember, when I actually saw real players, not the NBA, not professionals. People who really like playing basketball, all the moves. I saw them dunking the balls in the basket. I really saw that, and that was awesome. Which I would be that tall to can do that. But I cannot dunk the ball. I haven't played since high school. Haven't played basketball. But yeah, now the back. That is awesome. I love the soundtracks, especially Sidney, with the ball front Billy. That was awesome. Gloria, she was great. Was a huge fan of her. I had a crush on her. I know the actor who was, but that's Sidney. I can't remember those two actors. That's Sidney and Billy who are playing. And that's Sidney dunking the basketball. But One Man Can Jump. Fantastic film. I'll show you also the disc. That's how the disc look like. It is the one in which they're both faces in it. So that's actually, it plays perfectly. It's a brand new Blu-ray. It plays perfectly, and I'm really glad I actually have even the German release. I'm glad it works. And this is the first time I own this film, and I got this on Friday. It was the first time I actually owned this film on Blu-ray. It was the first time I actually saw it. Now, first off, rest in peace, Freeman Williams. If I forgot, I'm gonna wrote it in my description because I can't believe it. He wasn't in this cover, but on the end, Freeman. Um, Freeman Williams, as Doug Johnson, he did a fantastic job. I can't believe that he passed away. But this movie was done with heart. Yeah, it was done with heart. I love those three guys in the open that are actually singing. I love the music score by Benny Wallace, especially in the end. The finale is my favorite scene. It's my favorite scene. I love White Man Can Jump. I love this movie to death. And so this movie cost $31 million, the budget, but made $90 million. It made a little $1 million, a little money, $90 million. But this is a classic. It's a classic. It's a fantastic movie. And now Hollywood's gonna remake this movie. They're gonna reboot Blade. They're fucking stupid. Hollywood's stupid. We don't need a remake. It's perfectly the way it is. And this movie gets 6.9 IMDb. That's bullshit. That movie deserves higher. Now, this is Woody Harrelson's favorite movie of mine. Woody Harrelson did a fantastic job. I love his character, Billy Hall. He's a good guy. He's a basketball player. He's a basketball hustler. Wesley Snipes, City Deans, fantastic. Awesome. He kicks ass, but no, he actually was. They both the actors, especially him. He was in the best shape of his life. He was clean, no drugs, no shitty annoying attitude like was in Blade Trinity. He was fantastic. Everyone that worked in this movie, with Ron Shelton, everyone in this movie, they actually did 100% of themselves. They worked hard for this movie. Whole day, they played on a court whole day. It wasn't choreographed, it was all real. The balls you saw was real. Everything in this movie was real. It worked. The screenplay, it worked. Ron Shelton wrote a great screenplay, it worked. There's a scene when actually Billy, he runs. Billy and Sidney, they run from Raymond. They jump in the car with Gloria. They drive in the car, and Woody Harrelson is listening to Jimi Hendrix, and Wesley Snipes like Jimi Hendrix. They have an argument, which I like that. They drop out Sidney. I like that. The music score. I like the soundtracks on the end of the credits. I didn't wrote it down, but yeah, it just was awesome. Like I said, Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson did a fantastic job. They actually both trained, for this movie. Now, the rest of the cast, Eloy Casados played Tony Stucci, and Frank Rossi plays Frank Stucci, the Stucci brothers. Marcus Johnson was awesome. Now, when Woody Harrelson was making this film, the producers hired Bob Lanier, the retired Detroit Pistons center basketball coach. So Woody Harrelson, he played, basketball in college, and he, in one point, he actually bragged to Bob Lanier that he's a great player. He's one of the greatest players. So Bob Lanier invited Woody Harrelson on a game 1-on-1, and Woody Harrelson stated it was the most embarrassing 15 minutes of his life. Oh my god. I think he hit his ego, of course, because Bob Lanier, he played every day. He was a former Detroit Pistons. He was a professional. You can't go against professional, even if you played basketball in college. Probably he'd call it even dunk or made one score. But yeah, that was just awesome. I also love the few lines. I mean, the zone. If you're smoked, you get smoked. I think that WE, the street profits are using that slang for this movie. We want the smoke, because in this movie, Sidney says, if you're smoke, you get smoke. But I just love that. You're smoked or you get smoked. You're smoked or you get smoked. But also I thought that Billy did honorable because he owed Sidney, and he gambled Gloria's money, $2,000 that she gave it to him. But he won. He tripled the money. He won. Probably he won $20,000. It wasn't mentioned, but he did a honor. The end he gave his friend. And yeah, it was a basketball. It was about hustling. Now there was also this piece of shit garbage movie titled The Gambler with Marky Mark, 2014. That guy from the Flintstones was in it. Was in the film, which that movie stole everything for this movie, except it was actually a high poker game. And Marky Mark, he was a professor. He went a college professor. He went and he gambled all the money, and that movie stole everything from this movie. Just it wasn't about basketball. It was more about high poker game. With cards. And the guy, in order to get, to free his gambling debt by gangsters, in which he borrowed the money and he also borrowed money from his mom. He also borrowed and stole money from his college girlfriend. Yeah, she was a student from him. I think it was Brie Larson. And he gambled all the fucking money. On the end, he won, he freed the debt, and he gained his life, but he was broke. But almost the stole from this movie. Just that this movie is better in my opinion, because that movie, every time I watch this movie, every time I watch The Gambler, something bad happens to me. Twice I had a bad luck, so I not watch that movie ever again. But this movie, at the end, Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, they win. They both win. And it was done with fucking heart. This movie has heart. It has great. It has a heart. It has a great. It has a great. Great pacing. It's actually, it's not boring. It's also, I got it what the movie is about. But I do wish that Gloria Shewald came back to Billy. Come on. He all knew Gloria. He had to do it. I wish Gloria Wald came back. But still, the movie is just phenomenal. I love how they shot, how they worked. I actually forgot. Ron Shelton, he was looking for the cast. And he found them in Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. But Keanu Reeves was also trying to get the role for the role of Billy Hall. But Keanu Reeves was no basketball material. He had no how to play basketball. Even though he did Point Break, that's nothing to him, because they need a basketball player. That's someone that can't play a ball. And Woody Harrelson got cast instead, and he was awesome in this movie. His best movie, yes, Woody Harrelson's best movie. There's also this, they also mentioned it in a sitcom, Married to Children, which those two guys, Griff and Jefferson, they said, Woody Harrelson, I'm Wesley Snipes. Oh my god. But yeah, this movie was a fantastic. I remember in a movie that's a guy opened at a video store and he put the VHS tapes, and why they can't jump was that VHS tape in it. But yeah, I love this movie to death. Now, NBA player Gary Payton made an uncredited appearance in this movie. And of course, this movie is rated there. It's actually, this movie is about money. It's a basketball hustlers. It's about it's about money. It's a basketball hustlers, but it's a rated R sports comedy. Tina Ferrer also played Rhonda Dean, Cindy's wife, so that was awesome. We found out why Cindy is making this by it's a living. This is not a Rocky film. Stallone. This is not a Rocky film. This is different than Rocky film. Because in Rocky, it wasn't about money. It was actually more about honor. This is about money. And these two guys, it work perfectly together. So yeah, that's one of the reasons. Now, they played everyday basketball. They were 6 days on a week. They were actually whole day on a basketball court. And they both actually learned new moves. Also, Woody Harrelson was better at basketball than Wesley Snipes. In the movie, they are depicted as equals. Basketball legend player Ron Beals appears in this movie. He played basketball every day until he died. He now rests in peace. So that's awesome. That's cool. But Woody Harrelson was better in basketball than Wesley Snipes because he played in a college basketball. They played basketball every day and all day. Wesley Snipes studied tiny Archibald tapes. They played 6 days a week. They were on the court. Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson were learning new moves and becoming familiar with Shelton's playbook. They played for real to win. So the cast, they were also lowering the rim so that Woody Harrelson could dunk the basket. But yeah, they lowered the rim. They are all of them. They went and they lowered the rim. So that was awesome. And as the Snipes came out of the trailer and said it's fishy, he goes and dunks it and finds it and says to the cast, "You lowered the rim." But I do love, Wesley Snipes' jokes, in the film. Your mom is an astronaut. Your mom is an astronaut. I love the jokes in this film. Or I love, I'm in the zone. Oh shit, I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. I just love the jokes. I love the jokes. I love the basketball player. The play, you're smoked or you get smoked. Man, I love the lines. I love the music score by Benny Wallace. The producers by Don Miller and David Lesser did a fine job. Actually, the producer Michelle Rappaport did a good job. But the basketball, to play the game, I still remember when I loved to play basketball with my friends back in high school and back in elementary school. That time we loved to play, basketball. Then also, you also do have, the NBA game in this apartment when they watch the TV. But yeah, it's just, I remember this was actually a blockbuster hit, even though it didn't came out in the summer. But I remember this movie was on TV every summer night. Was this movie on TV? And I remember when I actually taped it because of Rosie Perez. I had a huge crush on her. Yes, I had a huge crush on Gloria, and it really was kind of shitty that on the end, she left Billy because he gambled her money once again. But at least this movie, he gained his friend. It was honorable. Rosie Perez as Gloria Clemente was awesome. Great cast of choice. You have a great cast. And in this movie, they probably work from 6 till 10 in the night. They actually work whole day. And all the moves that you saw, the basketball, the moves that Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson were training, they actually they both both of them actually reached the skill level to able to start for NCAA Division third team. So they actually both, learn that skill to allow to start the third division, division third team for NCAA, for NCAA. So that was awesome. They both learn, they actually learn all the new moves, and everything that you saw in this movie was for real. But yeah, it was actually released from 20th Century Fox. But this is one of the movies that was a huge hit. Till nowadays, it's still a huge hit. But both of them, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson did a great job. I love this movie to death. I'm glad I finally got this movie on Blu-ray. I don't care if it's German, if it's Spanish, Nobody's perfect, but I'm glad that I do have this movie on Blu-ray. Once again, I'll show you the Blu-ray disc. Why say Jungs brings this means why men can jump. So that's the Blu-ray. And you also do have a small title, Why Men Can Jump. Small title, so but everything in the back, it's just changed to the German language. But that's cool in my opinion. I love this movie to death. But that's my movie review on White Man Can Jump. It's actually a retrospective review. And yeah, oh shit, I forgot to say. But my retrospective is actually about this review. Is actually this. The basketball player that they actually, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson, they did 100% of themselves. They sweated, they were tired, exhausted, and they played for real. They played for score, they played for real. Ron Shelton did a great job. I love his vision of the playbook. I love how the story, how he wrote 37 pages in one night. I love how what the characters can do, what these two characters are about. They're hustlers for basketball. They're the best basketball players. And I used to love basketball. I don't play anymore, but I used to love basketball. And it was a fun comedy. And yeah, and that's my retrospective. That's a retrospective review. And that's my retrospective because this movie deserves it. It's one of my favorite sports comedies. Yes, Wesley Snipes, he did Major League Way, but he wasn't even the fucking poster. He had 3-4 scenes in the film. He wasn't even the fucking poster. Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, and Corbin Bernsen were actually the stars of the film, not him. In Wildcats, he wasn't even in the poster. Goldie Hawn and other guys, I don't know, were in the poster. He wasn't the fucking poster. So, of all the sports movies that Wesley Snipes did, this is my favorite. This is my favorite that he did. And yes, it is in my top 11 favorite Wesley Snipes films. Sorry, it's number 6, not number 5, it's number 6. Because it's not an action film, but I love that it's not violent. I love that it's not violent. I love it's not racist. I love that everyone, plays for real. I love how Ron Shelton directed this film. I love how his vision, his angles, everything that you saw, the game, when you watch the game, playing the characters, the cast, they were for real. It wasn't staged, choreographed. It was for real. It has no shaky cam. It has no CGI. Everything you saw in this movie was for real, and it worked well. It worked well, and that's actually, in my opinion, retrospective. And it's not Rocky. It's not Rocky Balboa. But it's different from Rocky Balboa because this is not about professional boxing, professional NBA player, professional division third team. This is about street basketball. Street basketball. It's about street basketball on the court, and I'll call it, there's only one king, and that's Sidney Dean. He's the king of the beaches he's the king on the beach of California. He's the king. And a new player comes in town, that's Billy Hoyle, who's equal as Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson was better in basketball than Wesley Snipes, but in the movie they're both equal. They're badass. And yeah, if you don't have this movie Blu-ray, I recommend you to get it. The picture quality is phenomenal, is fantastic. If you do get the US version or the UK version, you get two cuts, theatrical and extended cut. I only have theatrical cut. I'm fine with it. I don't need the extended cut. I'm glad that I saw the cut that I saw as a kid, so that's fine by me. There's music. There's also trailers in that video on that disc, and I think is a music score about the film, and that's it. I don't think there are any. I don't know if there are any audio commentary in it, or there's any, or there's actually any interviews, with Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, Rossi Perez. I wish that it would be. It isn't. But yes, I love the basketball game in the film. But yeah, that's my longest review and retrospective review on White Man Can Jump. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. I'm out. Take care. Have a good Sunday. Peace.